Today, I'm sitting down with two incredible entrepreneurs who, like me, have designed their career and their life on their own terms. So can you introduce yourself and your business?
Sure. I'm Lauren Rome, the founder of Romer Skincare, a simple 3-step skincare line that I launched 2 years ago.
I'm Caron Proshan, the founder of Simply Gum. Simply Gum makes snacks and candies using high-quality, premium, simple ingredients, and we pair that with beautiful, thoughtful design.
Okay, so I know we're all moms, and you have a
5-month-old baby boy today.
wow, today, 5 months old.
Yes.
Wow. And you're here working.
We're here, we're doing it.
And then you have a
11-month-old girl.
And you, too.
two, 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, so I'm a little ahead of you guys. But I just remember the early days and having to travel and work without the kids, and it was so challenging. Like, how are you guys feeling?
This is the first time I've actually left home. So leaving my son in good hands with Dad and our dog.
I'm sure the dog will take care of the baby. It's fine.
That's right. Put him to work. He's the best protector of them all.
Exactly, yeah. It's always tough, you know? I think it's just something that, as a working mom, you have to figure out.
Yeah,
so.
but I love that nowadays we're normalizing the conversation of like women and mothers going back to work, pursuing kind of their dreams and their ambitions. And that's really empowering for not just for other women, but also for your kids as well. So
Exactly.
Go us.
Yeah. I definitely want him to be proud of me and look up to me. And I feel like I see so many other women out and about doing their thing, moving and grooving. So gotta join them.
I mean, it's incredible the amount of things that women can actually get done in a given day.
Yeah.
And just being able to manage it all, you know, we could do it.
Exactly.
So let's talk about your businesses, because I would love to learn a little bit more. So Lauren, you have Romer Skincare. Can you tell me a little bit more about it and also how it all started for you?
I launched Romer Skincare 2 years ago. I was finding that I really was just looking for something simple to get better skin. And I had a bathroom overflowing with products, as we all probably do. And I was searching for really good quality ingredients that were effective and free of things like phthalates and sulfates and fragrance and harmful substances. And at the time, my husband, well, he was then my boyfriend, but he also was struggling through the same skin challenges. So I set out to build this line regardless of who you share your bathroom with. I thought the line should and could work for both men, women, really anyone with any skin type. And lo and behold, Romer Skincare entered with 3 products.
That's incredible. And I love that it's 3 products, because I think we tend to overcomplicate things and you just like simplify what you need.
Yeah.
And then for you, Caron, I know you have Simply Gum, which
That's
I'm actually a big fan of.
Oh, that's
so can you
wonderful
tell
to
us a
hear.
little bit about how it all started for you and a little bit more about the business?
Absolutely. So Simply Gum, we make candy and snacks using high-quality, premium, simple ingredients. I have been adopting a healthy lifestyle in really all aspects of my life, from my beauty products to cleaning products to many foods. And yet it occurred to me that the gum I was chewing was filled with artificial ingredients such as artificial flavors, artificial preservatives, and artificial colors. And that really bothered me. And I started doing research, and I learned that many gums actually contain a synthetic plastic base. And so I started whipping up recipes in my kitchen here in New York, one of those classic stories, and I was able to create a gum recipe that uses chicle as its base, which is a tree sap. And so that was sort of the genesis of the idea. I started taking it to local stores in New York, door to door, selling it in, and it took off from there. And so we're now in many doors across the country, and we're expanding into products beyond gum. So using that same ethos of high quality ingredients, we're now going into fruit gummies and candy bars and more to come.
I love that both of your guys' business started off with kind of a problem that you identified. For you was, you know, effective, simple skincare. And then for you, it was obviously just gum that was safe and healthy to chew on. And you made an entire business out of it. I mean, that's pretty inspiring and empowering. So I know you guys both came from more of a traditional background, a 9-to-5 job. What made you guys take that leap, that first leap of, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go for it.
I mean, in my case, it was really that I was unhappy in my day-to-day corporate job. I dreaded going to work in the morning, and I realized that things could be better, that I could be focused on something that I was passionate about. I could have more flexibility. And I think that for a long time, I was very risk averse, and I didn't have the courage to take that leap. But eventually, I had to put my happiness first. And I think I got comfortable with that fear of failure, and I knew that even if I failed, I was going to be okay. For me, it was really worth it and highly rewarding. But of course, it was a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar to Caron, I was ready for that next challenge. I felt that I had this creative talent that I wasn't really utilizing. And I had worked on Wall Street for 10 years, and I recognized that not everyone's in the same fortunate position, but I had saved a little bit that I could then go and invest in myself. And thankfully, I also have a very supportive family and husband who pushed me to go take that first step and really go off and take the risk.
There's probably a lot of women that are hearing your stories and that are like, oh, I really want to do that. Like, I have this idea in my head. I've been wanting to do this, but I just don't have enough time.
Time is an interesting one because no one really ever feels like they have enough time. It's the reason I even created the skincare line in the first place, to give people more time back in the mornings in the bathroom. That being said, I think what we have to really do is look underneath the surface and examine what is the fear that's really behind that maybe excuse, do I have enough time? And I think it's really challenging to put yourself out there and to take that first step. But I've heard this a lot, and I think if you want to make time for something, you'll make that a priority. And so I think we should all hold ourselves accountable, and whether, you know, for women or men or anyone, to really just say, okay, what is the thing that's holding me back? Is it really time, or is it really fear of failure, or is it really, you know, fear of something more stable and secure?
Yeah. There's never a good time to start a new company. It's actually very inconvenient for everybody, including your own family. But if it's that important to you, it's one of those things where if you cannot fall asleep at night because you like keep thinking about it and you're thinking about it all day, you just have to carve out the time on your calendar and make it like a consistent thing.
One more thing too, I think there's this little bit of a misnomer that you have to be this expert in the field. And, you know, I knew very little about the beauty industry up until a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so I think there's so many resources out there, ways to learn and acquire knowledge.
I did not come from a food background. I had no idea how to make gum. I don't even cook. So it was a huge leap for me, and it took a lot of research. But yeah, you spend time, you work at night, you work on the weekends. Once you've taken the leap and you're in it, you're kind of like, oh my God, there is so much to do here, so much I don't know, and so many challenges and hurdles, but you just keep going and you figure it out. It's one of the great things about being an entrepreneur.
But it's almost like you're in school again every day learning about it, right? And it's like boot camp, business boot camp 101.
Totally. Just learning in real time, trial and error, trying to figure it out. People also think when you start a business, it has to be this huge thing where you quit your day job and you jump into the deep end, and it doesn't have to be that. You can stage it. And so I did the same thing where I actually did a little bit of consulting on the side to bring in that income while I was working on the Simply Gum concept. And so for me, that was a way that I mitigated some of that risk.
Yeah, it might take a little longer than how you would imagine it, but you know, you just have to be patient. And also kind of going back to the conversation of not knowing about your industry for both of you guys, same for me. Like I started a childcare company. I come from fashion. I've been doing fashion pretty much my whole life. And I started a childcare company with my co-founder and I didn't know anything. I felt like I was diving into something with my eyes closed, but I learned it and I found a partner, I found a team that was incredible. So I think it's really important to be okay with imposter syndrome sometimes, something that a lot of people kind of are talking about now. It's like you just feel like you're not good enough sometimes, but you just have the confidence and the passion and the resilience to be able to learn it. And I think that's the most important skill as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So coming from a 9-to-5 job, a traditional job, and then starting your own small business, I'm sure that there were many different hurdles, but were there any hurdles that you guys were not expecting or maybe similar hurdles that you did experience at a 9-to-5 job?
I think there are some unique differences about running a small business that are special. One of the differentiators is being able to select what vendors and suppliers I wanted to work with and be very careful to ensure that the values of those companies aligned with the ones of my own. And sometimes that gets perhaps lost in a larger, when you're part of this larger machine, and something that I felt very strongly about with the small business.
I mean, you're the decision maker at the end of the day now, and that's a lot of pressure too, though, right?
Yes, a lot of pressure, and especially coming from my standpoint of bootstrapping, I don't have a lot of investor capital, so I don't have a lot of ability to spend on all these different bells and whistles. I am my own chief marketing officer, chief sales officer, branding, logistics, you name it. But I think those are some of the things that make having a small business really exciting.
Yeah.
With a 9-to-5, at the end of the day, you can somewhat go home and leave work at work. And when you have your own business, as we all know, you can never turn it off. You're thinking about it 24/7 because it's your baby in a way. And so I think that always on element, it is stressful. And people need to realize it's not always this glamorous thing. It's not always what you see on social media. There is a lot of stress behind the scenes. You are wearing multiple hats, especially if you're bootstrapping like I did as well. You are doing so much. And if you have employees, their livelihoods depend on you as well. And that's a big responsibility.
I remember many, many mornings, and I lived in New York for a decade, waking up at the crack of dawn at 5 a.m., racing to that 6 a.m. spin class, racing to the office, and that constant perpetual hamster wheel. I think when I took a step back, taking a moment to ask myself, what do I really want out of life? I really want to start a family, and I really want to spend more time with my partner. And this enables me to do all of those things. And I think it's such a unique way for women to kind of pave their own destiny or carve their own path.
And it's a very personal decision too, because I have a lot of friends who have done very well on the traditional 9-to-5 corporate path. And so for some women, that is absolutely a great idea to continue on that path.
How has Amazon been supportive in your entrepreneurial dreams and career and your journey?
Amazon has been a wonderful partner to Simply Gum from our inception. One of the first things I did when I started the company was to list our products on Amazon Marketplace. And I did that because how else could I have access to millions of customers around not only the US, but frankly the world. And I would never have been able to access those consumers on my own because I didn't have the resources to spend millions of dollars on customer acquisition. And so simply by listing our products on Amazon Marketplace, I was able to tap into that consumer base, and that was really important to us. It was also a great way to get consumer feedback. So as soon as I listed, I started getting those reviews. which was incredibly helpful to see how people were responding to the product, whether there was anything that we could do to change the product. So that was a wonderful tool. Ads, promotions, coupons, these are all things that we've tapped into over the years as a way to acquire new customers, as a way to reward our existing customers. So it's been a really great partnership over the years, and we continue to grow with Amazon. As Amazon grows, we grow. So we're happy to be on Amazon.
That's so great. At the start of the pandemic, when I launched Romer, taking it back, my shopping habits changed. I was inside shopping on Amazon, and I thought to myself, okay, if I'm my core customer, I built the skincare line because I was looking for it for myself. And I'm shopping for everything on Amazon, my pregnancy pillow, swapping out sustainable swaps, my at-home gym equipment. Why shouldn't I be on this incredible platform? And so within the year, we launched on Amazon. And as all of my consumers have built up, I think, their shopping behavior on Amazon and add things to cart, I've experienced it, seeing it on the business side with Romer. And it's very powerful. I think that the marketplace and the infrastructure is great. How often are you browsing and shopping on Amazon, and Amazon tells you you may need to look at these other 12 things, and then you add a bunch of them to your cart. So it's also similarly been a really great partnership, and really excited to be part of the infrastructure and be picked up in things like gift guides.
And let's be clear, Amazon generates revenue for small businesses. So a large portion of our revenue now comes from Amazon. And so, like you were saying, you want to be where your consumers are, and the consumers are there.
Not to mention the delivery times. I mean, can we get stuff any faster?
Honestly, we're spoiled by Amazon. Like,
Completely.
if you're like, wait, what? How long is it gonna take? Oh no, I'll just get it on Amazon. It's fine.
And what I love too now is that Amazon does give you ways to really tell your brand story and to create that brand voice, whether it's through the storefront or through the Amazon Live videos. We've been utilizing all of those tools to really get our message across. So that's been very important to us as well.
If there was any advice you could give the women that are watching this video and they want to start a business, what would that advice be?
I have two big ones. First and foremost, women supporting women. I have never been a bigger advocate of trying to see other women succeed when there's a room full of opportunities. And so I really, truly believe that women are not alone. And the concept of this rising tides, we want to lift all the boats. That it's not a competitor, that it's really someone that you can lean on in times of challenge or struggle. And some of my closest confidants and friends have come from other small businesses. The second thing is, if there's anything I've learned over the last few years of this pandemic, it's that life is short and we can't take anything for granted. So why spend your time on this earth or planet, doing something that you don't love? And so my advice would be to find what really motivates you and lean into that.
I love that.
I totally agree with everything you said, Lauren. I think that's great advice. And I would just add that you can start small. You don't have to raise $10 million of funding off the gate. You don't have to land that 3,000 store account out of the gate. You can start small. You can start in your kitchen the way that I did. And so you can do it incrementally, like you did, Chriselle, at night while you had your 9 to 5. Those are things that people can do. I'm so much happier today having taken this route. I wouldn't trade it in for anything. I really do not have any regrets about becoming an entrepreneur. So it's been a very fulfilling path for me, but not without its bumps along the road. And you've got to just brush yourself off and keep going and hustling, and that's how you make it.
Yeah, I love that. I think a lot of people, they see this big picture of what they want to achieve, and it's so big that it becomes overwhelming, that it's hard to take that next step. But I always tell people, especially women, is like, okay, it's important to have that big picture vision, but then after that, almost forget about it. Almost like pretend that you never thought of that, and then just ask yourself, what's the next thing I can do? So you kind of go back small to the next obvious step, whether it's sending out that email to, you know, find some help or whatever it is. And no step is too small. Every step is towards the bigger picture. So I really resonate with that piece of advice.
Being able to also hold a mirror up to yourself and really take stock. Become a little bit of a better listener to what people are trying to tell you. It's one thing for you to love the products, but what does the community say about them? What do the Amazon customers think about them? And I think that's something I'm still learning over time.
Having that self-awareness, I think, is really important and will serve you well in the long run.
I like the word self-awareness too, because I think in the beginning, when you start a business, it's really important to have that kind of pit bull mentality of like, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna, you know, do whatever it takes. I don't care what people say about this. Like, I'm gonna do it no matter what, right? That resilience, that pit bull mentality. But then there comes a point in your business where you have to be self-aware and be like, okay, it's going well, but this is what people are saying about it, and becoming a good listener. That's a part of the growth of a business, right? So I think having that like both hard and soft is so important as an entrepreneur, and it's hard to kind of achieve because, they're completely different personality types, and you kind of have to have both. Well, thank you guys so much for your time today and sharing your incredible stories and building such beautiful businesses and creating great products for everyone. And thank you for just being here and inspiring so many people today.
Thank you, Chriselle. It was great being here.
Celebrate women-owned small businesses at amazon.com/WHM2022.